Alright. Can I still hear you? Awesome. Alright. We are live now. Little malfunctions there, but we are back. So, me and Dylan are back after UFC 299. We watched it in my garage. Really, really, really good fight card. Great pay-per-view. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you, dude. That was a phenomenal card, and yeah, I guess UFC 300 is the only one to contest for it, but that was such a good card. And I just wanted to recap on our underdogs of the card. I had Gilbert Burns. Dylan had Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier came through so hard, and I didn't even bet Benoit Saint Denis because I thought Dustin would, but I just didn't have the balls to make the bet. But man, that was a really, really good undercard. No, you're not wrong, dude. Like, there's so many funny memes and footage of him pulling the shorts up and just dirty boxing. You're right. Dustin Poirier pulled out a massive victory. No one wanted to fight Benoit Saint Denis. Dustin got paid for it. And I think I even I was looking at payouts. Dustin Poirier made a million, 296,000. He just shy of 1.3 mil. Sean O'Malley made 2.3 mil. And yep, it went Dustin Poirier, and then Benoit Saint Denis with 256,000, which was surprising. Because they got fight of the night bonus, yada yada. So he got paid 206,000 to fight Dustin, and then got an extra 50,000 for fight of the night. My lock. You saying Benoit? Yeah, I'd agree, dude. And I said it too, though. I said Benoit Saint Denis' striking can be sloppy at times. Like he just swings. Like he'll take a hit to give one, and you can't do that against Dustin Poirier. I mean, it was shown. But Loa, leave the damn cat alone. Get down. And okay, go out. You're going out. Go out. All right. Guess she's not. Anyway, little fucker. Anyway, Benoit Saint Denis was a great read by you. Best underdog on the card for sure. My lock of the card was Curtis Blades, and it was not looking good. I mean, he got manhandled the whole first round. Well, he kept getting taken down, and I wouldn't say manhandled because he kept getting up, but then he kept getting taken right back down. Wasn't looking good for us. Second round, he comes out there, stuffs the first takedown, stuffs the set, and then, kind of scrambles back up, yada yada. Stuffs the second takedown and knocks out Jailton Almeida with about 18 hammer fists. That was awesome, dude. I was really happy with that because I had a read on it. Like, Jailton Almeida, if he wasn't going to be able to get those takedowns and keep smothering him and submit him and do what he's been doing, Curtis Blades is not the guy you want to be in there with because he'll knock you out. And I'm happy for him. On to the next one. He wants to fight Tom Aspinall, I believe. One parlay. I hit one parlay, as you know. Me and Peter both threw $100 down, and return investment, we both won like $650 or whatever it was. Can't be mad about that. I'm up overall throughout the whole night. I'm up profit. Lola, they're both looking out the. You have to see this. I'm sorry. They're both looking out the window at a squirrel. All right. Anyway, back to the fights. So, great card. Now we're on to an Apex. I believe it's in the Apex, isn't it? Yeah. We're gonna be yeah, dude, you were also very close, and I was really close on one of my parlays with my coworkers. We had $80 and everyone threw $20. Gilbert Burns lost us that fight, and Gilbert Burns was this close from winning that. He was dominating, 10-9 first and second round. It wasn't domination, but 10-9 first and second round. Third round he was winning, turns into getting knocked out. Feel bad for Gilbert Burns, but now it's up for Jack Della Maddalena. He called out Shavkat Rakhmonov, who no one calls out Shavkat. Fuck it, give Shavkat a fight. I'd love to watch him fight. I'll put all my money on Shavkat Rakhmonov to win. So yeah. Anyway, great card. Some of our reads were really good. I wouldn't say we had like a bad read anywhere because the fights were very close. Your underdog hits. So let's see what we can do on this card. So moving on to the fight night card. There's gonna be some fights we're probably gonna just breeze over because there's a lot of up and coming talent on this card. It's not super in depth, but the first one starting off with Chad Ann Hellinger versus Gregoria. And Ann Hellinger is a UFC vet. He's been in there for a while. I shouldn't say a while. I guess he's only been in here for 2 years in the UFC. But he's a solid fighter. He's not like super good anywhere, but he's just solid. He's a bona fide UFC fighter, and he's fighting this young buck coming off the Contender Series. And I shouldn't say young. He's 31. Well, young enough. This is one of these fights too where you got the up and coming guy trying to be honestly he's gonna be tested in his first fight in the UFC. 6 months ago he knocked out his opponent on the Contender Series. Yeah, and the thing is with this guy, he's got big power, but from what I've seen one of his fights I watched on the Contender Series, he's susceptible of gassing out. And Chad Ann Hellinger has like he's got a solid chin, never been knocked out, but his path to getting beat is submission. He's got 6 submission losses, and that's probably how I see this fight going. Gregoria takes him down eventually and submits him, but Gregoria has no submissions on his record. If I have to pick a winner on this fight, I'm going to pick Chad and Hellinger. I think, at a much higher level, we just seen the bona fide UFC star legend, Dustin Poirier, just kind of show Benoit Saint Denis there's levels to this. And Hellinger is not on Poirier's level, obviously, by any means. I just think we're going to see probably a small example of that, and he'll edge out like a split decision. So I'm going to take Ann Hellinger. How about you? Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm definitely not betting on this fight. I'll just sit down and enjoy the first fight. Hopefully it'll be a fight. There's no doubt about that. So, moving on to the next one, Corey McKenna versus Jacqueline Amorim. To be completely honest, I don't know a damn thing about these girls. All I know is one's 24, one's 28. Team Alpha Male. She's training at a great gym. So is Amorim, an American Top Team. This is all I have to say. Look at the reach advantage for Jacqueline. 68-inch reach to her opponent's 58 and a half. It's a 9.5-inch reach disadvantage for Corey McKenna. And what? She was in the LFA, yes. A lot of wins in the LFA, and she's got 2 fights in the UFC. probably did, bro. She's got 5 submission victories, 2 knockouts, and for Jocelyn Moore, I'm sorry. And she's coming in at, you can just say it's a pick'em. Minus 115 to their opponent McKenna, minus 105. That's a pick'em. And I just don't know anything about these girls, man. All I know is this girl has a 9.5-inch reach advantage. And 68% of Tapology is going with McKenna, the girl with the huge reach disadvantage. I just don't even know what to think about this fight. I'm going to have to definitely just watch some footage because I don't know a goddamn thing. So I ain't parlaying it, and I don't even know who to pick. I probably picked the girl with the reach advantage. Yeah, I mean, we break down every single fight every week we can when there's fights. You definitely want to pick the fighter that has most advantages. If it's size, reach, better wrestling background, power, whatever it may be. We don't know anything about these girls. I'll probably watch a little of their past videos, but we just need to know that 9.5-inch reach is crazy. Oh wow. I did not know that. That's awesome. I didn't even know that. That's cool. I just looked that up after you said that. Good shit. So yeah, we're gonna both edge with the girl with the 9.5-inch reach advantage, and Jocelyn ain't betting it though. Moving on to the next one, Josh Kuloba versus Danny Silva. Here's where I get a slightly more familiar. You got Kuloba, who is like I'm not gonna say a vet in the UFC, but he's got 5 fights in the UFC. He's 3-2 in the UFC. He's got 5 knockouts on his record. He's been knocked out once, 1 submission, 5 decision victories. And if there's one thing to say about this guy, he's got the cardio. There's a reason why he's got 5 decision victories. He's got the cardio. Yeah, he's got the cardio. He can go all 3 rounds, all 5, I guess, if he needs to. But he's also fighting Danny Silva, who's an up-and-comer here, who's got 5 knockouts on his background, his resume. Never been finished. He's only lost in mixed martial arts is by decision. And he's coming in, Danny Silva, as a slight underdog. You know, rightfully so. It's kind of the contender. UFC Dana White's Contender Series fade. It's coming in off the Contender Series 5 months ago with a solid decision. And Josh Kuloba is coming off a loss to Lerone Murphy, who's undefeated. And just a solid fight, dude. One that I don't have the greatest edge on who I'm going to be picking here. I'll probably be throwing in like a fight goes a distance prop, because both these guys are solid decision fighters and both have a great chin. I think it's going to be a scrap, but I might be throwing in a little parlay, a little goes over 2.5, or a fight goes a distance, whatever the money line is when it comes out. Yeah, no, I'll probably be taking the old trusty vet in Josh Kuloba, because I like kind of fading these fighters coming off Dana White's Contender Series when it's rightfully when it's due. You know, of course, keep an eye on some fighters like, of course, Bo Nickel coming off the Contender Series. You just know how good he is, but 89%. Sorry, you go. What were you saying? Yeah. No, I agree for sure too. This will be a good fight. It's gonna be a scrap. Like I said, I'm probably gonna be staying away from it if I don't pick fight goes the distance, because I don't know who's really gonna win. probably am gonna pick Josh Q-Loba though for the podcast. So. Alrighty, we agree on all 3 fights so far. And here it gets in a little more interesting. A fighter we do know, Thiago Moises, who his last fight was against Benoit Saint Denis 6 months ago. He got knocked out, and he was putting on a solid performance. You know, he was. That's where I first saw Benoit Denis' little niche in the armor, where he overcommits on his punches. He'll take one to give one, and Thiago Moises was hitting him with some bombs, and he got a little wobbled, he got a little gassed, but Thiago Moises is not as good as Dustin Poirier, so he couldn't capitalize on it. So Moises is fighting a Mitch Ramirez, who is a big, just strong little ball of muscle at 170 pounds. He's 5'11", 71-inch reach. He's going to have a half-inch reach advantage on Thiago Moises. But where this fight really, all we have to talk about is if Thiago Moises gets that takedown and can get on top of him, the fight will end there. But he can't get hit by Mitch Ramirez's left hook or that right hook. I'm gonna be throwing in. Sorry, Emily's asking if I want guacamole and chips from Chipotle, because I don't like Chipotle, but I like the guac and chips. So, yes, I said yes, please, thank you. Thiago Moises, probably going to get him in a little prop. Thiago Moises by submission. I see that happening. If that doesn't happen, Mitch Ramirez will probably knock him out. I don't really see this fight going the distance. Or maybe I just play smart and not say the fight doesn't go the distance. You know, under 2.5 or whatever I want. Or I'd probably just hit the chalky fight does not go the distance. Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely let you know. We can put in a little juicy. I want to do like a 3 fight. Every one of those 3 fighters, we're gonna be looking for a submission. So to be completely honest, so me and you both got Thiago Moises. I probably got him by submission. You like it too, you said. And moving right on to the next fight, it fits ever so perfectly. We're looking at Jafel Fiallo versus Ode Osborne, and I gotta say right away, dude, it's all or nothing for Jafel Fiallo. This guy is a very good submission artist, and he's strong. And you look at it, he's got 9 wins by submission, 5 by KO. So he can knock you out. He's got 2 fights in the 2 fights in the UFC, and to his loss, Mohamed Mahayev, flyweight division, who's probably fighting for a title here at 301 soon. The dude just doesn't have like a whole lot of chinks in the game. He's solid black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's fighting a solid Ode Osborne. Here's what I see happening though. If this fight gets out of the first round, which I hope Jafel gets him to the ground and wears on him, because Ode Osborne has this opportunity to knock him out in the first round or get finished by his opponent. I mean, Ode Osborne's a long, lengthy flyweight, and he's got a lot of power, but where he struggles is in the later rounds. So we fly over to the reach section. He's got a 73-inch reach. His opponent's got a 68.5-inch reach. So that reach advantage always helps him. But like I said before, what does not favor Ode Osborne is a mixed martial arts match where he gets taken down, he gets war on, and then his back is there to give up. He's already got 3 losses on his resume against submissions, 2 by knockout. I might just play Andre Fiallo goes inside the distance, because Fiallo could knock him out where he's on top of him, and he just TKOs, clubs him, subs him, or he subs him. So I'll probably play it smart. This is what I'll do. Thiago Moises by submission. Jafel by submission. And then in a different parlay, I'll be throwing Jafel just inside the distance. Because I think he does finish Ode Osborne. How about you, bro? Yeah, and I know a few people are tailing Ode Osborne because they can get him at plus money, and he always presents that opportunity to knock out his opponent in the first round. So I get it, but I also do see Ode Osborne losing to Jafel because Jafel's fighting better guys, and I mean Jafel went almost all 3 rounds with Muhammad Mahayev. He got submitted in the 3rd round, and Jafel was giving him some trouble. Um, yeah, solid price tag, minus 170 here on Tapology. I'll probably be riding it though, so he'll probably get thrown into a little parlay piece. Moving on to the next fight, Josiane Nunes versus Chelsea Chandler, and I've actually did a little bit of research on this one, and these girls just come to fight, dude. But here's the thing: Chelsea Chandler is gonna have a 5-inch height advantage on her opponent. Excuse me, 6-inch. She's 6 inches taller with a 1-inch reach. Now try to explain that to somebody. Like, that's just crazy. You're 6 inches taller, but you only have a 1-inch reach advantage on your opponent. It's kind of wild. Yeah, no, for sure. And Josiane Nunes has finishing power in her hands. She's solid. She's got 7 knockouts. Okay, 7 knockouts, 3 decisions. Her last 2 out of her 3, she's went to decision, and she's solid, dude. She's a solid fighter. Chelsea Chandler is solid too, and that's why the money line is where it's at. It's so close. Chelsea Chandler's got 2 knockouts, 1 submission, 2 decisions. She's only been both these girls have never been finished, so it's a solid fight to just kind of throw up on a prelim here on this fight night. I'll probably be I ain't betting this one. I'm gonna go the unpopular pick, and I'm gonna side with Chelsea Chandler, just because. No, I'm staying far away from this. It's so hard to predict women's MMA unless it's like a title fight. So we can just move on to the next fight. So we're both picking Chelsea Chandler. She's the underdog. Another one here, Mike Davis, Nathan Levy. And I do know this one pretty well. I'm going to just make it short and quick for me. Mike Davis should beat this guy. He's better everywhere at him in mixed martial arts. But here's the thing. Both of them are inactive. Mike Davis fought a year and 6 months ago, and Levy's fought a year and 3 months ago. I mean, neither of these guys are that active, and they're also fighting, like, Mike Berdine just retired. These guys that they're fighting and beating are retiring. It's really hard to gauge these guys, but I'm picking Mike Davis, honestly, by whatever he wants. If he wants to knock him out, he probably will. If he wants to submit him, he will. So he'll probably be getting thrown into a parlay piece too. Unfortunately, he's already at minus 250 favorite, which is a pretty nasty number to lay on somebody that hasn't fought in almost 2 years. Yeah. Yeah, and it's hard. I hate being those guys that's like, oh yeah, we're just chalking with the favorites. Well, Chelsea Chandler we didn't here on the last fight, but some of these fights on this card too, it's every UFC card. Like Javid Basharat, massive favorite. His line got steamed so hard to where he was like a minus 800 and he lost. Um, this is where we try to, yeah, absolutely, and it's where we try to bring the most attention to like certain weaknesses on either fighter and try to break down, like just manipulate their weakness. And Mike Davis has no weakness compared to Nathan Levy. Like Nathan Levy, his nickname is Lethal, and he's not. I hate to say, there's not a lot of lethal things about this guy. He's got 3 submission victories and then 5 decision victories. This guy doesn't knock anybody out. So if Mike Davis is smart, keep it standing up. We're both going with Mike Davis. Moving on to the next one, Gerald Meerschaert versus Brian Barberena. Another fight that's just kind of like, it's interesting. Like, I get it. We just got off of UFC 299, but like sometimes these matchmakers just throw these fights together. Like, fuck it, just give that guy a fight. We got Brian Barberena moving up to moving up to middleweight. And let's be honest, he belongs at welterweight, dude. I mean, he belongs at welterweight. He's not big enough for a guy like Gerald Meerschaert, and I'm picking Gerald Meerschaert. Gerald Meerschaert has more submission. This is a fun fact. Gerald Meerschaert has 27 wins by submission. Okay, let that sink in for a bit. 27 wins by submissions. He has more submission victories than Barberena does almost fights in his career. And a 77 and a half inch reach. Gerald Meerschaert is a much bigger middleweight. I just worry about Gerald Meerschaert's chin. I really do. Brian Barberena has that power that can put you out with that chin issue of Gerald Meerschaert. But I don't really believe in Gerald Meerschaert at the age he's at right now and what he could get done there. So I'm picking Gerald Meerschaert. How about you, bro? And probably by submission. Well, awesome. See, sometimes when we agree on things, it just kind of like solidifies it for me more. But every once in a blue moon, you like the disagree, because then it makes you think more. But Gerald Meerschaert should win this fight, and he's at a minus 190 favorite, and he'll probably only get chalkier. So we probably want to jump on that sooner than later. Moving on to the next, don't even really care. I shouldn't say care. Of course I care about it. It's a fight, but I'm taking Macy Chaseon. And this is one of these fights where you can go get a bag of popcorn or a beer and you don't really have to worry about it if you miss it. That's just my opinion. This she's fighting 16-7 to Macy's 8-3, like bantamweight division. Yeah, I'm sorry. Neither of these girls are gonna be title fighters, so I'm taking Macy though. Yep. And this one, yeah. No, I totally get it, bro. And like you already just reiterated, we're not talking bad on these fighters. We just don't know a lot. Hopefully they wow us on Saturday night and be like, oh shit, I'm gonna watch her when her next fight comes, or his next fight, or whoever's fighting. We don't know. You make a statement, and that's how you get people's attention. Moving on to the next fight, Christian Rodriguez versus Isaac Dogarian. Now this is a fight that I am very excited for. Honestly, I have to look back at this card right now. This fight is probably the most exciting fight on the whole entire card, in my opinion. Christian Rodriguez is a stud. people faded him when he was fighting Cameron Saman. Actually, way more even when he fought Rolls Royce's Jr. Yep, and I cashed a nice parlay that night. Christian Rodriguez came in as like a plus 140 underdog, and by the end of almost end of the third round, he was like a minus 800 favorite. He was beating the shit out of Rolls Royce's Jr., and I couldn't be happier because of my bet, of course. Christian Rodriguez is a stud. He's honestly good everywhere. He really is. 3 knockouts, 4 submissions, 3 decisions. He proves he can knock you out, prove you can submit him, and he proved that he can go decision. And now he's fighting Isaac Dulgarian, which I don't know all his credentials here, but I know he's like a super nasty fucking wrestler. And I'm gonna look it up right now. Isaac, because it just doesn't do its diligence if we don't know where he wrestled, you know? Yeah, I like it. And here's the thing why Dulgarian's a favorite, because Dulgarian was a champion at University of Nebraska, and apparently like 3 other styles of wrestling, like folk, Greco-Roman. Like, this dude is like a real wrestler, dude. He's solid as hell. Isaac Dulgarian, man, he's gonna be on the map if he beats Christian Rodriguez. I need to do more little videotape on Isaac Dulgarian because I'm always big on wrestlers. I know how good Christian Rodriguez already is. So, for the sake of the podcast, I'll pick Christian Rodriguez as he's the underdog, which I love getting him at. They're gonna give it to us one more time that he's an underdog. Here's the thing, though. He's got a problem making weight. He fought at 135. He missed weight in his last fight against Cameron Saman and beat him up. Now he's moving up. He's moving up to 145, and this will be his true test to see if he can hang with the 145ers. Like, this elite grappler / wrestler in Isaac Dulgarian. So this is the fight I'm looking forward to the most. Like I said, I'm gonna pick Christian Rodriguez. But I'm going to do my tapes, study more before Friday evening when we make our bets, or Saturday morning. And I'll have that pick solidified in that video when we make our next one before fight night. Yeah, and like you said, at a plus 170 or whatever, I mean, that's a huge underdog. Like, you love that for. Oh, Emily, mom's home. Lola's excited. You love that for Christian Rodriguez, because we're not gonna see Christian Rodriguez too much. How would I want to word this? We're not gonna see him much more often as an underdog in the UFC. Like, he's beating these guys, and he's going to start sooner or later turn into a favorite. So I like going to pick him now, but we'll wait till it comes out. I know Isaac Dulgarian's like a super solid wrestler. He's undefeated. It's going to be a great fight. The next fight, dude, I can't be any more like embarrassed for the UFC. I have to say it, to put this fight on as a premier co-main event. Oviance St. Preux, 40 years old, retired like twice, came back. He got knocked out cold by Felipe Lins, who just fought last weekend. And Kennedy is like the most, honestly, probably the chinniest dude in the UFC. Like, it's bad, dude. Like, Dustin Jacoby, big salt. I mean, he would knock me out cold, obviously. These guys, he's a 205-pounder. Dustin Jacoby, light heavyweight, doesn't really knock anyone out. And he knocked out Kennedy brutally. And now Kennedy gets a 40-year-old withered Oviance St. Preux. I got Kennedy to win the fight, but I ain't putting my money on that dude at all. I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy this one. And I like that. I mean, he's a minus 500 favorite, so if you're gonna be betting, you gotta put him in a parlay to get those odds up, like you know. But yeah, I agree. I don't know anyone in their rightful mind picking Ovin St. Preux to win this fight at 40 years old. Ovin just sits there and like sluggish. Yeah, I mean, it's a fight, right? You never know what's gonna happen, so it just seems like Ovin St. Preux OSP. He just kind of sits super flat-footed, and I don't know. He used to be good, man. His time's up. Co-main event: Brian Battle versus Andre Losa. This is gonna, yeah, Pooh Bear. What a nickname. This is gonna be a great fight for a co-main event. Fight night, Apex. Of course, we wish we had more, but it's not the worst they can do. Brian Battle, promising welterweight. Now he's stepping up competition in his last fight against AJ Fletcher, and he's fighting Losa. Both these guys beat AJ Fletcher, but Brian Battle beat AJ Fletcher by submission. Losa went to a decision. They both beat Rise McKee, and this is gonna be a great fight, dude. This is a fight that I'm gonna have to watch a little more tape on both guys too, because this one's a really hard read for me. I know how good Brian Battle is, and I know how good Losa is, but not at. I need to watch more tape on Losa before I throw any money on this fight, because he is solid, and he's one of these guys on the card where the underdog. He's definitely like a solid underdog pick.
Hi, Boo Boo.
Hi, babe.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. We're almost done.
Okay.
He's just a super solid underdog pick, and I could see me getting on the Losa side before I make a bet, though. Like I said, I gotta do a little more study. Solid fight, though. For the show's sake, I'm probably gonna side with Brian Battle. Just I think he is a solid welterweight, and he's probably gonna be the bigger guy. Definitely in reach and height, but I'm gonna side with Battle. But I know Los is really good. It's not my official pick. How about you, bro? Yeah, yeah, good point. And it matters who you're training with. Both of them are coming out of really good gyms. Um, yeah, absolutely. And I actually take that back. Brian Battle's at the worser of the two gyms. Brian Battle is like the number one guy at his gym. So it's kind of tough when you see that. It's gonna be a scrap, dude. I could see Losa winning the fight, but I'm gonna edge it with Battle, but that's not my final prediction. Yep, I agree. All right, that was the 12th fight. Moving on to the last fight of the main event: Tai Tuivasa versus Marcin Tybura, and this one was kind of really, I'm not going to say kind of, it was really hard for me to judge this fight because I was really high on Tai Tuivasa for a while there, just straight up knockout power. I had him beating Derek Lewis. He was the underdog. I got the knockout prop in that fight. And then he's been on a 3-fight skid. I mean, he fought Cyril Gane. I had Cyril Gane in that fight. The footwork was obvious. He got knocked out by Pavlovich, and then he got submitted by Alexander Volkov. So he's on a 3-fight loss streak, and they're giving him a very competent, like, UFC gatekeeper in the heavyweight division in Marcin Tybura. And Marcin Tybura is just like a solid heavyweight. He's not the flashy guy that knocks people out cold. He doesn't submit you right away in the fight. He just seems to do a lot of the things right and nothing too wrong. But then Tai Tuivasa has that one-punch knockout power where he hits you with a 1-2 combo and people just fucking fold and they go to sleep. My heart's telling me Marcin Tybura because he's a better grappler. He can stick. He has longer reach. He can stick out on the outside when he's standing. And like I said, he's got the better grappling upside, so you want to go with those fighters. And then some part of me is telling Tai Tuivasa because of the knockout power and the fact that he can hang for a little while in the grappling realm. But if Marcin Tybura is really smart in this fight, which I hope he is because his UFC career is probably, well, it's not on the line yet, but he's 38 years old. There's another thing. He's 38 years old fighting a Tai Tuivasa, but Tai Tuivasa has been knocked out twice now by Pavlovich and then Cyril Gane, and they weren't pretty knockouts when he got knocked out. So you got to think about the durability. There's just a lot of question marks on this fight, dude. Honestly, on this card. Like, really good matchmaking. Hunter Campbell, they did a great job at matching these fighters because they're very close, and that's what makes it so hard for us. But like you were saying, I'm going to do my homework too, get a better read on all these fighters, and then throw those little juicy $10 parlays together on knockout props or submissions, because I'm saying it now, this card seems like a heavy, finishable fight. Like, there's going to be a lot of inside the distances. But, further ado, if I have to make a bet on this fight, which I will, a pick, I'm probably going to take Tai Tuivasa. Only because I think he's the younger guy, but he knows what he's got to keep the fight standing. He's got to knock him out probably in the first or second round. It's like a Jairzinho Rozenstruik fight versus against Shamil Gaziev. If it goes past the third round, Marcin Tybura is probably going to win this fight. And if it's leaving the third round and they're going to sit on the stool, I'm betting the fight live for Marcin Tybura. I think it's going to happen. So I'm not confident, obviously, as you can tell. I'm picking Tai Tuivasa in the early rounds, Tybura in the later rounds. So maybe I'll just throw this fight in as the fight does not go the distance. Bro, and I like it. We're both on Tuivasa's side. Can you guess the money line? Will the fight go the distance? Prop for no. Guess how much of a favorite it is. Minus 1,000. I do not think I'll be betting that. No fucking way. Yeah, good point. So, yeah, that's insane. And then you can pick round props like Marcin Tybura in the fourth round plus 1,100. That's a saucy one. Marcin Tybura in the fifth round plus 1,600. Those are solid round props, but the smart one I'll probably be going is the under over 2.5. I could see it going over 2.5, which I'll probably do because that's a plus 165, dude. Plus 165 is a solid over 2.5. I don't know. You saw me hit the over 2.5 O'Malley Vera at like a plus 365 or minus 365, which is a huge favorite, but it helped my parlay, and that's my last leg of the parlay. You wanna you want to land on like a soft, very doable last leg on the parlay. And that was mine last week. So sneaky, very nice. All right, that was our show, guys. Not a great card. It's like me and Dylan were saying. It's a very good matchmaking they did. It's going to be exciting for not casuals. It's going to be exciting for the hardcores like us. We're going to enjoy it. And need I say less? I think it's going to be a heavy finishing card and a lot of like smart live spot betting. So when the fight's going on right now and you have the option on your bookie to live bet, I say this is a really good card. So we appreciate you guys watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let us know what your dog of the fight is, the card is. And oh my god, I forgot we didn't pick our dogs of the card. Chandler, Chelsea Chandler. All right. I have to. Oh, I like it. I have to. Shit, I have to even look right now. What is Thiago Moises? I'd imagine he's a favorite. Yeah, we don't even get a money line. By the way, I think Mitch Ramirez is coming in on short notice against Thiago Moises. So that's something to think about. Who the hell is the underdog that I have? Oh, Christian Rodriguez. Christian Rodriguez might be my favorite underdog of this week. I could see people pouring money in on Marcin Tybura soon. It's either Christian Rodriguez or Marcin Tybura. And like me and Dylan were saying, none of our picks, the picks that we already said are pretty set in stone, but there's like 4 or 5 we need to do our tape. And I urge you, brother, do the tape study on Isaac Dolgario, because of how good of a wrestler he is. Oh, here's Willow. She's jumping up on my lap. Very good wrestler, dude. Undefeated, several time champion, so we'll just definitely have to do a little more tape study, but that is the show for the week. Like I said, leave your underdog picks, leave your favorite picks, leave your parlays, comment whatever you want. We appreciate you guys for watching.